What's really good, everybody? I hope everybody out there is blessed, feeling healthy, taking care of yourself during this COVID situation. I wanted to come to you and drop this jewel on you and let you know what's going on in boxing real quick. Got an AHAT live episode. I'm going to cover Pacquiao versus Crawford. Should Pacquiao fight Crawford next? I'm also going to talk about Bob Arum as he blasts Terence Crawford. Oh, man, he went hard in the paint in him. Like, Crawford needs to be feeling real salty with Bob Arum after what Bob Arum said. And then we're going to talk about, does Crawford need to leave Top Rank to get a big fight? And you guys can hit me up in the chat and let me know your opinions on any of these. I got the super chat live cracking, and this is live streaming. If you post a question in the live chat, I got you. I'll try to incorporate it. But first, before we talk about should Pacquiao fight Terence Crawford, let's talk about Crawford's last fight real quick. Crawford is just coming off of the Brook fight where he knocked Brook out in like the 4th round or something. It was the way that he KO'd Brook was impressive, but the fact that he KO'd Brook was not impressive. The fact that he beat Brook was not impressive because I expected that to happen. I did a prediction video and I talked about all that, and it was obvious that was going to happen. Hey, what's up, Lil Lobo? I see you in the chat. Shout out to you, man. Can you shout me out? I got you. Rico Sosa 13K on IG. That's Rico _ Sosa 13K on IG. Shout out to you. I see you in the chat. All right, so the fact that Brook got KO'd by Crawford in the 3rd round, like, I don't think that was a major accomplishment for Crawford. That was expected. Maybe not to knock him out in the 4th round, but I did predict a knockout in that fight. So that's not really like a big deal. So now let's go to what the title of this video is. Should Manny Pacquiao fight Crawford next? Crawford's coming off of a decent win, and he has a lot of momentum. He's still undefeated. He's currently ranked pound for pound #1. Yes, sir, fresh, bro. I was waiting on the rap battles, dude. Yeah. What's up, Lil Lobo? I see you. All right, what's up, Freddie Mir, Andres? I see you out there in the chat. I think Crawford is pound for pound, but needs to be tested. That's what 1814 Meki Romina says. All right, so the fact that Crawford is currently ranked pound for pound the best, that deserves like some consideration for Pacquiao to fight him. But I have 2 reasons on my decision on whether Pacquiao should fight Terence Crawford next. And my answer is actually hell no, Pacquiao should not fight Terence Crawford next. Hell no. And I'm going to give you 2 very, very good reasons why he should not fight him next. All right, reason number 1. All right, wait, let me look at the chat real quick. Me, I say yes, Pacquiao should fight Crawford next. Okay, I hear you, Freddie Mar, but I say no. So listen to my reasons. Listen to my reason, Freddie Mar, Andres. I want you to listen to this. So reason number 1 why Pacquiao should not fight Crawford next. As a boxing fan, I would like to see it. But on Pacquiao's side, these are 2 reasons why he should not fight Crawford next. 1, I feel that Terence Crawford has not faced an elite fighter yet. He has not faced a top 5 welterweight yet. He might not even, hey, what's up, DJ Black Charm? Peace, bro. Crawford has not, I don't even think Crawford's faced a top 6 welterweight. So you telling me after not even facing one of the top 6 welterweights, Terence Crawford gets to go way to the top of the food chain and fight Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao whether you think he's the best welterweight or not, he's at the top of the food chain of the welterweights. Meaning, if you fight Pacquiao, you're going to get the biggest fight. You could fight Errol Spence, and it wouldn't be as big of a fight if you fought Manny Pacquiao. You fight Terence Crawford, it wouldn't be as big of a fight if you fought Manny Pacquiao. So Manny Pacquiao is the OG of the welterweights right now. Like, that's the biggest fight any welterweight could have right now, is fighting Manny Pacquiao. And out of all the welterweights, Terence Crawford deserves that? No, absolutely not. And my second reason is tied into the second title in the video, which is Bob Arum blasts Crawford. So my second reason why Pacquiao should not fight Crawford next, I'm going to mention that in a second. So let me look at the chat real quick. Fredemar, Pacquiao going to hang Jersey roof soon. Oh, yeah, that's a legend. Shout out. Yeah, Darian LaCruz, respect, 100. I see you. Safe, Sexy Gaming, shout out to you. The boxing legend, future Hall of Famer, the one and only, announced one of the greats, Pacquiao. You already know, yeah. Pac should fight Bud, legacy, win or lose. Let go, Pac. Yo, I'm here. All right, shout out to Albert. I see you out there. I think Bud defended the belt at welterweight longer than Porter. So, yeah, I think he ready for those type of fights. I think that's what DJ Black Charm saying. Okay, but you got Errol Spence out there. Errol Spence has a better resume than Crawford right now. Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. And who else did? And Errol Spence is about to fight Danny Garcia. And Terence Crawford hasn't beat nobody on the level of Sean Porter, I think. Even though Kell Brook beat Sean Porter, I think if Porter and Kell Brook fought again, I would give the advantage to Porter, definitely. Somebody in the chat, Dr. Barber says, what about Keith Thurman and Crawford? I would love that fight, definitely. Keith Thurman against any of these dudes. I even like Keith Thurman in a rematch against Pacquiao. Fedemar says Sean Paul doing the kind of sign half and half. I think Keith Thurman and Pacquiao would be a good rematch. But let me go to the second title in the title of this video where I said Bob Arum blasts Crawford. I don't know if you guys seen this article, but I'm going to read it to you real quick. So check out this article. It's on the Zone News. You know, the Zone, DAZN. Well, listen, this is what Crawford, this is where I think Bob Arum blasts Crawford. So this is what Bob Arum said about Crawford. He said, this is Bob Arum talking about Crawford. He said he's got to promote like Lopez, like Teofimo Lopez. He's got to promote like Shakur Stevenson does, like Floyd Mayweather did, like Manny Pacquiao did. And then listen, he says, if he doesn't, then who the F needs him? That's Bob Arum talking about Crawford. He said so basically he's saying if he doesn't promote like those guys, who the F needs him? He may be the greatest fighter in the world, but hey, I ain't going bankrupt promoting him. And then he goes on to say, the question is, do we want to keep him? I could build a house in Beverly Hills on the money I've lost on him in the last 3 fights. A beautiful home. So that's Bob Arum saying he's lost money on Terence Crawford's last 3 fights. And you're asking me, does this guy that his promoter can't even make money on, should he fight Manny Pacquiao, who's the biggest draw in the welterweights? And so Pacquiao's bringing all the money and Terence Crawford ain't bringing in the money. Like Pacquiao, nah, he don't deserve it. He's not a big enough name. He wasn't even on pay-per-view his last fight. They had to put it on ESPN because people ain't buying his fights like that. So what do you guys think about that? About Bob Arum saying he's not even promoting himself and he lost money on his last 3 fights. And you guys think Crawford should should fight Pacquiao? All right, let me see what DJ Black Charm says. He says, I think it's a bit late for Bud to learn how to do that. He is from a paradigm of leave it to the promoter to push the fight. Yeah, that's true. And that's the old way. You know, with social media, it's like the boxers are almost at the helm of their promotion, especially with these younger guys like Teofimo Lopez, like Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Crawford should move to PBC. Okay, that's the next part. So those are my two reasons why I think Pacquiao should not fight Crawford next. For one, Crawford hasn't beat none of the elite fighters yet, so he shouldn't go to the top of the food chain. A bigger fight for Manny Pacquiao. He wants to get somebody that's going to garner the attention to make it even worth fighting Pacquiao, and that would be Earl Spence or Keith Thurman again. Those would be bigger fights for not true boxing fans. Like, we want to see Crawford and Pacquiao. We all know that. But the broader appeal fights are Earl Spence and Keith Thurman. And then the second reason why I think Pacquiao should not fight Crawford next is because Crawford ain't even making money for his promoter. And Pacquiao needs to get paid. Like, nah, Pacquiao's the top of the food chain. Pacquiao is the A side on whoever he fights, and you got to pay the OG. As much as Pacquiao's done, he needs to break the bank on this next fight. So, nah, he shouldn't fight somebody that can't even make their promoter a profit on their fight. Let me see. Young Pop in the building. What's up, folks? He said Crawford versus Spence, Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia, and Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. I feel you. All of those is fire matches. And yeah, Spence versus Crawford, that's a more evenly matched as far as appeal. I even think Earl Spence is still a bigger name than Crawford right now because he's had the bigger fights. He had the more marquee fights because him and Sean Porter was a big fight. No stimulus pass. Yeah. Hey, Terence Crawford got Bob Arum out there needing a stimulus because he ain't getting his money back on them fights. Pyong, let me see. I think Pac should fight Spence. Garcia winner. Right. Exactly, MP. I'm on the lines with you. Spence, I believe, versus Pacquiao is a bigger fight. I think Spence has crossed over a little more than Crawford. Crawford almost seems like he's not boisterous enough. He hasn't had the marquee fights yet. So that takes me to my third, Lopez versus Pacquiao. Lopez is too small. Lopez fights at 130 right now, maybe 135. And Pacquiao's at 147, so that's too big of a jump for Lopez. That's not, Pacquiao will kill him. But let me go to the third part of my title where I said, does Crawford need to leave Top Rank to get a big fight? What do you guys think? Does Crawford need to leave Top Rank to get a big fight? Somebody already said in the chat that Crawford should go to PBC. And as far as the history goes, history tells us that, yeah, Crawford does need to leave PBC because he's been on Top Rank this whole time and he hasn't got a marquee fight yet. So that's telling us that, yeah, something's not right because he's, quote unquote, what a lot of people are saying, he's pound for pound champ. And he's not even on pay-per-view. He's not even making his promoter money off of the quotes that I just read you from that article of Bob Arum saying he's lost money on Terence Crawford's last 3 fights. So, yeah, Terence Crawford does need to leave Top Rank. And after Bob Arum blasted him like that, let me read those quotes. This is Bob Arum, who is Terence Crawford's promoter. He says, he's talking about him promoting. He's saying, if he doesn't, then who the F needs him? He may be the greatest fighter in the world, but hey, I ain't going bankrupt promoting him. The question is, do we want to keep him? I could build a house in Beverly Hills on the money I've lost on him in the last 3 fights. A beautiful home. He's talking, that's Bob Arum talking about promoting Crawford, and he's losing money. So Crawford is absolutely going to leave after his promoter blasts him like that. Yeah, he's going to leave Top Rank and go to PBC. And already Bob Arum knew that. Bob Arum wouldn't have said that if he felt he had a chance on keeping Terence Crawford on his stable, because Crawford is a big name and he's going to be around for some years now. Yeah, that's super disrespectful by Bob Arum. 18-14, no doubt. Yeah, and that's gonna force Crawford to leave. But Crawford was already leaving because he knows that he can't get the fights that he needs to cement his legacy on Top Rank, because all the other named marquee welterweights are on PBC. My boy Young Pop said something. Where's his? Let me see. Where's his post at? Where was it at? Let me see. It went up already. Young Pop said, I thought I seen another one from him. Oh, okay, there we go. What do you think about Edgar Berlanga, and should he get a big name? I got to watch more of his fights, Young Pop. I ain't even too much on him yet, so I gotta catch up to speed. I ain't even going to hold you. All right, Ronwald Garcia says Spence versus Crawford, or if they have to... balls to fight one time. Right. So Spence versus Crawford, or Spence versus Thurman, or Crawford versus Thurman. Like, all of those is good fights in my eyes. MP, right. Spence knocked out Prime Brook at his backyard. Bud fought a dehydrated, decent Brook. Yeah, true indeed. You right. Gonna bring out, let me see, the Omaha, Nebraska Cofro. Watch out for... And it's in boxing ring. Crawford versus Ugas. All right, they would get destroyed by Thurman, the two self-proclaimed best fighter. I saw Ronwald Garcia. Yeah, Thurman's hard, but he'd have problems with both Spence and Crawford. Like, I'm not sure who would win none of those fights. That's like those three going at it. And we really have to see how that car accident affects Earl Spence, because it might have slowed him up and it might have messed him up a lot. So we got to see if he's back at full speed. Oh, really? Bob Arum losing money? Yeah, that's a trip. On Crawford at that. Like, that's the pound for pound, supposedly the pound for pound champ. Do you guys think Terence Crawford should be the pound for pound champ? Like, I think it should be Canelo Alvarez, just because he beat Triple G. Like, Terence Crawford hasn't come close to fighting anybody close to the caliber of Triple G. And Canelo beat Triple G and had a draw with him. And so Canelo should be number one, no doubt. Paul Rivera. Crawford versus Mikey Garcia would be a good one too. Yeah, that would be a good one, but to fight these welterweights, Mikey Garcia is going up in weight. So it's not really giving him a fair shot. I would like to see Mikey Garcia fighting in his appropriate weight class. I think his weight class is, what does he normally fight at? I think Mikey Garcia normally fights at super lightweight, I believe. And these welterweights are like 7 pounds heavier. So that's why, he doesn't have a fair shot in those fights in my eyes. Let me see what Young Pop said. He said when Floyd was Pretty Boy, he had this problem. He had to become the villain as Money Mayweather that grabbed the world's attention. Unfortunately, this is what Bud has to do. Yeah, you're right, Young Pop. He got to do something to garner that attention, because, like, he's being super slept on. If he's as good as, the so-called pound-for-pound champ is supposed to be. And then you got Bob Arum blasting him. That just makes him look even worse. So it's like, oh man, he's up there taking L's from his promoters, from him not even being on pay-per-view. That tells us all something, that they don't think he's a draw like that, period. MP says, I think Crawford Thurman would be a hella fight. Bud needs an available top dog. You right, MP. Like, until he fights these top dogs, one of these top dogs, he don't deserve Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's at the top of the food chain. You got to work your way up, homie. The only one that I think is the only two welterweights that are worthy of Pacquiao's fade is Errol Spence and Keith Thurman right now. Keith Thurman, because he lost a highly contested fight to him. He put his belt on the line, even when he had a hand injury and wound up having to get his hand, getting surgery after the fight. He still took that fight. And Errol Spence, because he already went through Porter, he's probably about to run through Garcia as long as he didn't get affected by that car accident. And Errol Spence is all good after that. He's probably going to run through that. And so I think Errol Spence deserves that Pacquiao fade too, but not Crawford. He got to beat at least Sean Porter first, fight Sean Porter, and then go try to get Pacquiao. Let me see, PJ Blackman, 140. Yeah, right. Tim McKee said Crawford versus Mikey Garcia. Didn't you see that Spence? Didn't you see what Spence did to Mikey? Yeah, because like I said, Mikey Garcia is going up in weight class, so he's at a disadvantage. And he still did good. I mean, it's not like he just got train wrecked. He did get served, but didn't it go to distance? Did that fight go to distance, Spence and Mikey Garcia? I think it did. Or it went like 8 rounds or something like that. Let me see, Fred Marr. I'm a DJ online chat room. My name is DJ, a.k.a. Mr. Hot Forever. All right, go ahead and get your DJ on one time. All right, so answer my question. I got a question for you guys. Do you think Crawford needs to leave top rank to get a big fight? Let me know in the chat what y'all think. Bud versus Spence first, then winner fight Pac. Oh, that'd be dope right there, Pac. He said Bud versus Spence first, then the winner gets Pacquiao. Now, that would be dope. Okay, Fred Amar says, yeah, he has to leave. He has to leave top rank to get one of them top welterweights. Young Pop, yup. Yeah, see, we all see the writing on the wall. And after Bob Arum blasts Crawford, you know Crawford's going to get up out of there. So he's going to go on and dip and get it. So let me recap my answer on Pacquiao. Should Pacquiao fight Crawford next? No. Crawford needs to get a big fight first. And I'm going to tell you the other reason. I also said the second reason why Pacquiao shouldn't fight Crawford is because Bob Arum said that he's not even making money off of Crawford's last 3 fights. So how much money is Pacquiao going to make if Crawford can't even make his promoter money? So Pacquiao is at the top of the food chain of the welterweights, and he needs to get a boatload of money for his next fight. That's why I think Pacquiao ain't fought just yet. I think he's waiting till he's trying to see what's up when the crowds are going to be able to get back and go to the fights, because we all know that they're not making all the money they could because the crowds aren't able to get in there to see these fights. Let me see Pac needs to fight soon, though, because he's not getting any younger. Tim McKee, I feel you on that. Like, it's getting close. Like, it might be close for Pacquiao to hang it up just because he's getting older and he's not being as active because of the whole coronavirus thing. Let me see. MP says, hey, when you interviewed Joe Cortez, I thought you were going to ask why he didn't stop the Pacquiao Marquez when he was down 3 times in the first round. We did talk about that, MP, and I'm going to release that in its own separate footage on Saturday. So check the channel on Saturday, and we talk about that exact same thing. That's my next video drop after this live. Let me see. Eli says, 42-year-old part-time boxer still relevant today, GOAT. Oh, absolutely, GOAT status. Yeah, he's cold. That's why I think he needs to get a boatload of money for this next fight and not fight Pacquiao. I mean, not fight Crawford, fight Spence or somebody else. And Fred Amar says, yes, Crawford should fight. Crawford should fight Crawford next in Middle East. Oh, you meant Pacquiao. Okay. Crawford versus Pacquiao in Middle East next. Nah, I'd rather see Earl Spence, to be honest. MP, great staying tuned. Okay, good. Mayweather is the GOAT. Who y'all think is the GOAT? Who y'all think had the better career? Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather? I always interview people and I ask them that question. I want to see what you guys in the chat say. Who had the better career, Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather? What y'all think? I'm just being sarcastic. Mayweather is GOAT. Tim McKee, Floyd. Okay, I feel you on that. Like 50-0, fighting all those champions, all those undefeated fighters that Mayweather fought. Like, how can you deny that? Greatest of all time, easy, Pacquiao. And when you say Pacquiao, you look at everybody he fought and when he fought them. And you look at the 8 divisional championships. It's hard to deny that too. Pac will always be in Mayweather's shadow. You know, Floyd, DJ Black Charm. I hear you. Young Pop said, I just saw an interview where Roy Jones said he's going to train Adrian Broner. What do you think? Is that a good move for Broner to get him back focused, training with the legend, or will old habits remain? I think that's a good question, Young Pop. I appreciate that question. I think that's actually good for Adrian Broner because he seems young-minded. You know, he almost remind me of like being in high school still. So to be around an OG that been there and done that and was a way better fighter than Adrian Broner will ever be, you know, I think that's somebody he respects and he might listen a little more to a legend like that. So I think that'll benefit Adrian Broner for sure because Broner has a lot of bad habits. If you really watch his technical boxing skills, like Adrian Broner does a lot of things technically incorrect. The way he hooks and all kind of his punches, he don't even pack all the power that he should in it when he punches. So he could learn a lot from who'd you say? He could learn a lot from Roy Jones, a whole lot. Let me see. Broner should stay in prison, in my opinion. Broner is done. Broner could surprise a couple people. He's better than his record. Trust that. I think he would kill Kell Brook. Tim McKee, Floyd never took a beating and made more money than Pac. Yeah, it's hard to deny that, Tim. Jesus Christ, Tim McKee. I don't know. His defense is so good. Yep. MP says Mayweather knew he won't be the same outside of Las Vegas. Pac fought in many locations despite any disadvantages. Yeah, that's true. But Mayweather fought a lot of different places because I seen that in one of the comments and I looked up Mayweather's boxing record and it tells you where all his fights were. He fought about 12 different places other than Las Vegas. Maybe his last 8 fights or whatever were in Las Vegas, but he fought all over too, just not in different countries though. Let me see. Pacquiao is old. It's difficult for Manny if he fight Crawford, a prime Crawford. I feel you on that, KL. Yeah, it'll be tough. Pacquiao would have a tough time with any of those dudes. Crawford, Earl Spence, like those dudes would be a challenge for Pacquiao. And the vice versa is true too. Pacquiao, it ain't no guarantee that Crawford or Spence could beat Pacquiao. I'm so disappointed in Broner. He was supposed to be better than he is. Yeah, I think he should have stayed down one weight class. I think he moved up one too many. When he moved up to welterweight, it ain't been the same. His power, it took a knock on his power and his output. I think Maidana is what really changed Broner. After he got them hands put on him by Maidana, Broner fights different now. He don't punch as much. His offensive output has took a dramatic decrease. Jock says, no, I read that. MP. I think Broner has great speed and skill. Yep. I love to see him against Lopez at 140. Oh, that would be a good one right there. Yeah, that's a good one right there, MP. I feel that. All right, so I'm going to come back. I'm dropping a video on the channel about Pacquiao and Joe Cortez and that fight with Marquez, that first one. And then I'm going to do a live stream for the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight. Yeah, his confidence is gone. Okay, they talking about Broner. Let me see. Tim McKee. Broner should have taken that money Jay-Z was offering him for sure. Young Pop says, warrior aspect, you give it to Pac-Man. Businessman-wise, you have to give it to Mayweather. Honestly, it really says a lot about how you decide. Yeah, you right. You right. If you want to see, toe-to-toe, no guts, no glory, you'd probably lean with Pacquiao. But if you want to see smart and intelligent and then outthinking your opponent, you probably go with Mayweather. And definitely business side, you'd go with Mayweather too. But you talk about honor and legacy, you might lean towards Pacquiao. All right, for sure, y'all. All right, I just wanted to bless y'all real quick with one quick live. Let me answer this last question. And you say Mayweather, he ducked Pacquiao 5 years. If he didn't duck Pacquiao, maybe Mayweather gonna run back, man. Hey, everybody who thinks Pacquiao had a better career or whatever, they always say that Mayweather been running, man. For real, for real. I feel you, though, Fred Amar. I feel you. All right, I'm going to catch y'all later, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Good lookout. Y'all stay blessed. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe from this Rona out there. Who do you think's better career? Who do I think? Woo! I'm half and half. I'm half and half. When I think of certain aspects, I think Mayweather. When I think of other aspects, I think Pacquiao. But if you want to say who's the most beloved out of those two, like, it's Pacquiao, hands down. It's not even close. It's not even close. All right, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace out. Stay blessed. Peace.